Do you know the moment where everyone seems to already know and you're the only one who doesn't? Everyone nodding along in a meeting while you have no idea what's being discussed. A new place where nobody explained anything and yet everyone is just doing it. The point we're asking feels like it's already too late. Every time that happened, I assumed I was slow or missing something other people had. It took a while to understand what was actually going on.
They didn't all learn it. They each worked it out quietly. Every organization has rules nobody ever says out loud. When to record something, where your job ends, how you're supposed to talk to that particular person. None of it is written down, so there's nobody whose job it is to tell you. Everyone figured it out on their own, by reading the room and by getting it wrong a few times. What you're struggling with is a place everyone passed through. You just can't see it because nobody narrates that part.
Here's where it gets difficult. The window for asking is shorter than you'd think. For the first few days, not knowing is expected, and people are usually glad you asked. But a week in, a month in, it becomes the thing that's awkward to ask about now. From that point, you start covering the gap by acting like you know. And the more you cover, the harder asking gets. Eventually, the fact that you don't know becomes its own secret.
So the problem stops being not knowing and becomes having missed the moment to say so. The reason saying I don't know is hard is simple. It feels like inviting doubt about whether you're capable. Before you've proven anything, admitting a gap feels like it will stick to you as an assessment. But in practice, it runs the other way. People who ask a lot early on settle in much faster. Hiding what you don't know costs far more than asking does.
Still, I know asking in the moment is hard. There's the mood in the room, and there's timing. So here's what I'd suggest. Every time something you don't know comes up, don't ask, just write it down. That term that came up in the meeting, who actually signs off on this document? Why the schedule was set this way? Writing it down does two things. It keeps you from forgetting, and it makes the number of things you don't know visible. Inside your head, it feels like everything. On paper, it's usually 3 or 4 items.
One more thing. The same question gets much easier or harder depending on how you frame it. How is this normally done is hard to get out because it's an admission that you know nothing. Try this instead. Here's how I've been doing it. Does this look like the right direction? You're asking the same thing, but it lands completely differently. The first exposes a gap. The second is checking something you've already attempted. If it's wrong, they correct you, and if it's right, you've confirmed it. Either way, you don't lose. So to pull it together, they didn't all learn it together. They each worked it out quietly, and nobody narrates that part. The window for asking is short, and once it closes, the problem becomes the missed moment rather than the gap. Hiding what you don't know costs more than asking. If you can't ask in the moment, write it down. And here's what I'm doing. Does this look right? Is far easier to say than how is this normally done?
There's something I want to say, honestly, though. If sleep won't come or won't stop, if eating has become hard, if basic things like washing or cleaning aren't happening, or if you've had thoughts of hurting yourself, please don't try to solve that by writing. Writing is a tool for sorting your mind. It isn't treatment. That's the point where seeing a professional is the right call. I'm not a mental health professional. I'm just someone who has had nowhere to say things. I'm building an anonymous journaling space called Nameless Forest. No comments, no ratings, just a place to write things down. A place where writing I don't know is seen by nobody. It's a place where how you feel matters more than who you are. I'll be waiting there.